everyone. Welcome to the Delivery Driver Pit Stop. My name is Michael. I'm your hefty host, but getting less hefty every day. And today I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart and has been a subject of a lot of intense debate out there, and that's the topic of cherry picking. I've done 3 videos in the past, cherry pickings 1, 2, and 3, and it's got a lot of reaction, some good, some bad. And today I want to give another perspective that I didn't give previously. The previous videos I've done, I based a lot of it on emotion and what I thought personally. And that's not the way we should approach cherry picking. We need to approach cherry picking from the standpoint of facts and from the standpoint of being completely neutral. So I've written down some notes, and I'm going to step you through what I think in a neutral manner, the pros and cons of cherry picking, and we'll let you decide at the end, and we'll let you decide in the comments. We'll get your feedback on it and what you guys think of it. So we'll start with the pros of cherry picking. The pros of cherry picking: 1, you get higher payout, meaning that you're choosing what orders you want to take. And most of the time, those orders are from higher-end restaurants. And with higher-end restaurants, you're going to get better payouts. And with better payouts, you're usually going to get better tips. Pro number 2, less wear and tear on your car. So when you do, when you cherry pick because it's too far away, you don't have to put all those mileage on it. You save gas. You're saving from the maintenance of the car, tires and brakes and all that stuff that goes along with all the high amount of driving you guys are, everybody does. Also, a pro of when you cherry pick, one thing is it tells the company what you're worth. It tells the company what you're willing to accept, and it tells the company what you're not willing to accept. And as Beasy says, know your worth. So you have to remember the algorithm that assigns orders to you is a dumb algorithm. It doesn't know where you're at. It doesn't know how far you are. All it knows is that's the next order in line in the queue, and you're going to get it. So by you rejecting really bad orders that you could deem really bad orders, you start to form a pattern that Grubhub sees and lets Grubhub know, what you and what they find acceptable and not acceptable. That's why when you reject an order, they ask you why you're rejecting the order, even though they recently, with Grubhub, taken out the too low a pay out the options. So those are 3 I came up with. I came up with 5 cons of cherry picking, and let's go over those. Number 1, it may hurt the company. By you cherry picking, you're delaying the food. A lot of times the order is getting sitting there for a long time. The restaurant's having to refire it. The customer's calling in, asking where the order is. It just makes the company look bad. Con number 2, it may hurt the customer. Like I said, the customer is saying, why is this order taking so long? It's kind of sad that I have to tip in order to get my order. Do I have to tip $10 in the app just to get my order in a timely manner? Which is, that's not a good business model, I guarantee you. Oof. Number 3 of a con, it will hurt your driver status possibly. If you're a premier driver for Grubhub, it can lower your driver status from premier to pro to partner. In my area, you can't reject more than 10% of the orders an ongoing 30-day rolling on 30-day average, or you will be knocked down. That's important because a lot of people use Grubhub and Doordash and Postmates as their primary income. It's not a side gig for a lot of people. So having the premier status is important for a lot of people because it allows them the flexibility of being able to schedule around family, around kids, around family events or emergencies. So that is another con of cherry picking. You can lose your status. Number 4, it can lead to it hurting other drivers. And what I mean by that is, let's say you got the people are cherry picking like mad. what will happen is the premier drivers that take everything or almost everything, they'll get stuck with all the nasty lowball orders, and what will happen then, it will create resentment. The premier drivers will say, this is unfair, this is baloney, I'm suffering because people are cherry picking, which causes them to quit or not want to do it anymore or move else, to a different app. Con number 5, it can lead to companies bringing drivers in-house. And what I mean by that, a perfect example of this is I've had it happen to me firsthand is, as many of you know, I deliver for Amazon Flex. When Amazon Flex first started, at least in my area, well, it's a lot of places now, but when Amazon Flex first started in my area, a lot of drivers after a month or so would start getting the attitude of, I'm not delivering that, I'm not delivering that package. Oh, no, you want me to go here? I'm not going to go. That's a tough route. I'm not going to go up to the mountains. You paying me 18 bucks an hour is just not enough. It's not enough. I'm not going to deliver this late. I'm not going to lift this many packages. I'm not going to stuff my car. So what happened because of this is Amazon, with Amazon Prime, you're guaranteed a package in 2 days. And a lot of packages were missing a 2-day mark for customers that had Amazon Prime, which led to a bunch of problems. It led to customers canceling. It led to the emails. I don't know if you ever got an email, but if you're an Amazon Prime member like me, it leads to that email, well, your package has been delayed. Nerd speak, what that basically means is there was no one there to deliver your package. That's all that means. It wasn't delayed. That means it's sitting at the warehouse. So to quell the bleeding from Amazon, what Amazon did was to hire these companies, companies that would deliver packages for you, the courier companies. So what they would do is they would hire these courier companies, and these courier companies would have 20, 30 white vans, or any type of van, any type of vehicle they would rent from, fleet services from Ryder. And what they would do is they would have they would employ these drivers. Now they're W-2 employees. They would provide the vehicle for them. You get 15 bucks an hour, at least in my area right now. If you're a courier driver for the courier services here, you get 15 bucks an hour and you work 50 hours a week. This way, Amazon doesn't have to worry about the drama queens. These people don't want to do this or that. I mean, it's more. It makes packages a lot more reliable to be delivered in 2 days, because now Amazon doesn't have to deal with these people. The employer has to deal with the people, and these employers can hire or fire these drivers if they want to cop an ad to, and they don't want to deliver the packages that they have in their contract. So that's an example of courier services being these companies getting rid of the gig jobs and bringing it all in-house. And what has happened since then, in a lot of these private Facebook groups, a lot of drivers in my Facebook group are complaining that they're constantly getting the worst packages, the biggest packages, the most heavy packages, the worst routes where they're up in the mountains, out in the middle of nowhere, these dirt roads where there's no cell services. And this is directly related to what had happened with, basically Amazon Flex drivers dictating or cherry picking to Amazon what they were and were not going to do. So Amazon said, fine, we're going to do this. And that's the result of it. Now, if you want to look at the long-term effects of it, I can explain it. The best way I can explain it is, I don't know if anybody knows who Jack Welch is. Jack Welch is the former CEO of GE. He was employed from GE from 1981 to 2001 to come in and turn around the company, because the company back in 1981 was taking on water. They were not innovating as fast as they needed to be with the technology. So they brought him in to turn the company around. And from 1981 to 2001, when he left, he increased the value of GE by 4,000%. And the way he did it was a system that was invented by a Motorola engineer back in 1981. And the system he implemented was called 6 Sigma. S-I-X-S-I-G-M-A. And what that states is Sigma's strategy seeks to improve the quality of output of a process by identifying and removing the causes of defects and minimizing variability in manufacturing of the business processes. And let me break that down for you so you can see how it will relate to Grubhub, because you can guarantee that Grubhub and Postmates and Doordash, they have economists in their company that are starting to use the Six Sigma technique. If they have not already, I guarantee you any economists or anybody that had Economy 101 in college knows what Six Sigma is. So let me break down the sentence for you to make it a little more easier to understand. So let's take the first part. Improve the quality of output. What's that referring to? They're trying to improve the quality of output, and the output is the delivery of the food that you're delivering to someone. So they're trying to improve the delivery of the food, get it there on time, make it pleasant for the driver, make it pleasant for the customer, happy on both ends. The second part of the sentence, they're trying to identify and remove the causes of defects. What that directly relates to, that Grubhub and others are looking at, the causes of defects, aka cherry pickers. So what they're looking at is how do we remove the defects of the system to ensure better quality assurance of our product. And that refers directly to cherry picking, in my view. The last part of the sentence that is important is it minimizes variability. And what that refers to is the variables that can be controlled, like delivery time. They want the delivery time to be more consistent. I mean, with cherry picking, you'd have the roller coaster of delivery time. Sometimes the delivery would be great, sometimes it would sit. So they want to level that out to make it nice and consistent, because in the end that retains customers for Grubhub, and which Grubhub's in a business to make money. They're in the business to make money for their stockholders. And they're obviously they want to make money for you, but they have to take a happy medium on this and make it, fair for you, fair for the driver, and fair for the customer. So that's my impression of what Grubhub and Doordash is doing, especially Grubhub when they're testing all these different pay models right now. They're trying to find the sweet spot. And the reason they're trying to find the sweet spot, once they find the sweet spot between delivery driver pay and customer retention, customer satisfaction, they will fully institute this Six Sigma technique. And when they do, it's going to be the culling of the herd. The writing's on the wall. You can see they're going to look at all the drivers that Grubhub has, and they're going to take, who knows, 10, 15, 20% of the bottom lowest performing drivers and cull them, get rid of them. And it's going to be churn. They're going to look for someone. They're going to reward the drivers that are doing really well for them, and they're going to get rid of the drivers that are not doing really well for them. So, you get this this attitude out there that it's great to cherry pick, and you got to I have a 5% cherry pick. I have a 5% acceptance rate, and I don't have to worry about it. You really have to see the woods through the trees on that statement, because that's not necessarily true. Because in the long term, do you really think in the long term Grubhub or any other of these companies that trying to make a profit and trying to run a business, you think they're going to keep the bottom 10, 15, 20% of drivers that are causing the company the most headaches? Amazon Flex didn't. That's a perfect example. So after all this, I want to know what you think the future leads to, or what's the cause and the effect of cherry picking. I have 3 points I want to make, and then I'll turn the floor over to you guys and let you make your comments in the comment section. The cause and effect, or what this can lead to in the future. I think, neutrally stating, this is just purely speculation of my part, what I think. One, it could lead to the courier companies contracting with Grubhub and other companies to ensure quality of deliveries by, again, bringing the business in-house, bringing it into private couriers, making sure when it's private courier, they have more control of the product. And the product for Grubhub is the delivery time, the quality of the food, and, the pay. So that would be one, cause and effect. Two, it could lead to further advancement in automation to lead to less people delivering. A lot of these companies now are starting to research automation where they're having robots deliver things. So the more hassles they get from, whatever drivers, they're going to look at more ways to take the driver equation out of the problem. And the way to do that is to automate. Cause and effect number 3, I think, is it could lead to all these companies bringing all deliveries in-house and thus removing the gig economy completely. I strongly believe, that this is in its infancy. The gig economy right now is in its infancy. So there's a lot of things to be worked out, a lot of speed bumps. I don't think if things don't smooth out, I believe a lot of the gig economy will disappear in the next 5 to 10 years. That's my own personal feeling. Even though I said I wasn't going to bring personal feelings into it, it's my own view, not personal feeling. It's my own view. I think the gig economy, even though it will grow, the gig economy for drivers will shrink drastically by either making these drivers W-2 employees, and that means you no longer have your freedom like you have now, having your car as your office, or they'll get replaced with automation, or they'll do away with completely, go out of business, or say it's not worth the hassles. So you have to, as you see, you have to balance. You have to be smart in the business. You have to balance what's good for the customer, what's good for the company, and what's good for the driver. That's where I'm coming from with this. So I tried to take all the emotion out of this. I tried to present you today with facts. I tried to present systems that have worked in the past that a lot of businesses use, a lot of economists use in these companies. I'm curious, my comment question of the day, where do you see cherry picking going in regards to Grubhub or any of these gig economy companies? Where do you see it going in the future if, the hassles of cherry picking continue? Because it obviously is affecting Grubhub. It obviously is affecting Instacart with, these driver revolts, Uber revolts. It's affecting Grubhub because all these different pay models that they're testing. And all you have to do is read between the lines. Why are they doing all these? Why are they testing all these pay models? They're trying to find a sweet spot where it makes everybody happy. And if they can't, they're going to institute this, what Jack Welch did with the Six Sigma. That's my outlook on it. And, now I've given you the information. I've given you my thoughts on it. I'm curious what you guys think. Anyways, as always, if you find this video helpful or thought-provoking or food for thought, I would appreciate a thumbs up on it. And if you would be so kind to subscribe to my channel if you have not already, because I am super close to the 1,000 subs, which will be a huge monumental occurrence for me, because I've only been live on YouTube for 2 months, and then getting 1,000 is pretty great. Anyways, I thank you for joining me, and I hope this stirs some thought in your head, and hopefully this can lead to some great discussions. We'll see you, everybody.